Welcome everyone to Connect, Convert, and Thrive Masterclass, where I teach you how to turn your passion for coaching and consulting into actual profits. So for those who are new to my space and do not know me yet, my name is Stacy Volsi, and I live in Sacramento, California. I'm a former behavioral health educator and public health professional who turned completely left, like completely left, and started a journey of entrepreneurship, started her business, a nonprofit organization, and I'm here. Hello. I empower women healthcare professionals and practitioners who started a coaching business to build profitable practices through innovative systems and growth strategies. So today, what we're going to learn about is how to build connections so that you can effectively convert them into paying clients. And that same concept applies to multiple industries that are service-based. So if that's you, definitely just hold on and then we'll talk a little bit about what to expect. So as we move forward, I want to just paint a picture of what it looked like before. For me, essentially, when I got on the bandwagon of social selling, I was doing it without truly being social and really getting to know my ideal clients, really knowing how to serve them or what they needed. So that led to a lot of frustration because I kind of stopped myself from reaching out to them and having conversations that were genuine because I had an idea of what I was supposed to be doing, and I was totally doing it wrong because I was not being myself. The authenticity just went out the window because I wasn't putting my heart first. Okay. And honestly, it burned me out. I was tired. I just wanted to throw the whole business in the garbage and safe bucket. But that's how it looked like for me. And what that leads to is feeling constrained and frustrated with the process of building a business because you tend to the main things that generate income or revenue in your business, you become frustrated with them and you stop going, you stop moving forward because in your mind, it doesn't feel right. But oftentimes we have to realize that the things that don't feel right are the things that yield high rewards. So one thing after I started connecting in a deeper way with my ideal clients and really talking to them and understanding where they were coming from or what they needed, I was able to focus on understanding them and getting clear on that specifically. And I was able to embrace new strategies that focused on connection and stepped out of my comfort zone. When I say step out of my comfort zone, I was able to step out of my comfort zone. So, and also gaining clarity and consistency and income for my coaching practice. That's the other thing that happens when your actions align with your vision, because our vision is to build a profitable business that replaces our 9-to-5 income as professionals. Whether you're in the healthcare industry, environmental, or whatever it is that you're doing, if you're a woman and you have a professional career and stuff like that, you have that goal and vision of replacing your full-time income, so you have the freedom to do what you want, then that clarity and consistency is gold. Now, this is for you if you're an online coach or consultant and you're ready to practice in clarity and confidence. You're also ready to navigate your business journey with optimism and strategy. And you're ready to tap into your strengths and develop a system that works for you. Now, with all of that said, one thing that I will say is that you need to be a woman who is self-led. If somebody has to tell you what to do or has to be behind you with a stick and telling you, do this, do that, and you cannot lead yourself to a solution or to taking action, this is not for you. Because I have a 19-month-old that I need to do that with and an 8-year-old. And as adults, as professional women, this is not the space. We're not doing that. Okay, so what is your ultimate goal? Let me see something here. What is your ultimate goal for your business? I want you to be clear on that. I want you to be crystal clear on that, because if you do not know what your goal for your business is, and if that goal doesn't align with your vision and your purpose in life, then it's going to drive you insane. So your ultimate goal, you have to figure that out. What do you want your business to accomplish? Do you want it to make an impact in your industry? So let's say you're a mindset coach. You want to at least educate 200 women within 10 years to become self-confident and empowered to support themselves. So whatever your goal is, you have to be clear on what that is, because you have to identify that, or it's going to be very difficult for you to go through this business, or to go through building your business as you go forward. All right. So the different things you'll learn today: you'll learn how to truly understand your purpose and impact so you can connect with your dream clients. The other thing you'll learn today are the key pieces that you need to convert audience members that align with your vision into paying clients. Because oftentimes we're talking to people and they're just friends, they're just telling us, they're just asking for advice, but we have a difficult time, even though we can identify that that person would be great to work with. We have a difficult time converting them to paying clients because we don't really understand how to do it, and really we don't know if they're the perfect fit for us. So we're going to talk about what you need to do to be able to start converting your audience. And 3, the top mistakes that online coaches make when trying to get clients. Now, ways that you can work with me before we move forward: you can visit my Stan store. It's stan.store/Stacy Volsi Coaching. I put that there because if you're new to my page, my channel, or anything, you can actually visit the store to see the different ways that you can work with me. Now, the power of choice is the first thing I want to talk about during this masterclass, because oftentimes we don't realize that choice is what leads us to either being successful or not successful. I don't want to say failure, because every time we don't succeed in something, there's a lesson to be learned there. So if you're not successful, like to me, you didn't learn nothing, point blank. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Well, that's the first thing we're going to discuss, like the power of making proactive choices. Like, what does it mean to make a proactive choice? Now, let's say your goal is to build a profitable business, but to build a profitable business, what is it that you need? That's one thing I want you to be clear on. What is it that you need to have a profitable business? So if you're watching, or if you're here, I know I have Geraldine on here. You can drop it in the chat, but literally, to be a profitable business, the one thing that you'll need is revenue. And if you have a coaching or consulting business, how do you get revenue? By getting clients. So it's really important that you focus on activities that help you bring people to the door and people to start working with you. And that you need to start making proactive choices. Now, one thing with proactive choices, sometimes they're uncomfortable, but we got to do them anyway. And there's a danger in complacency, because when we start feeling comfortable in something and the things that do work, like reaching out to people, having conversations, or just building relationships with new people, that doesn't feel comfortable. We really have to put ourselves out there. We risk rejection. What are the chances this person will say yes? What if this person thinks I'm a fraud? Those are all things that are noise in the back of your head, because you have to make the decision and the choice to be an authority and an expert in whatever you're doing and go for it. And self-justifying stories, or the stories you're telling yourself about how you could be a failure, or if this person is not going to buy your services. That's just a story you're telling yourself. And honestly, I will keep telling you it's none of your business if they do not want to purchase your services. You just have to keep taking consistent action and keep making those choices that lead you to find clients that are in alignment with your vision. That starts with a choice, because our life is defined with a multitude of choices that we've made over time. And your choice on how to proceed with your business definitely will determine whether it's successful or if it flops. Now, if you resonate with that, definitely, because I know this is going to be on my YouTube channel sometime soon, drop some hearts and comments on there. And also, if it resonates with you and you are live here, let me know. Now, your role and power as a coach and consultant is your ability to make an impact in people's lives. Now, people take for granted what it is to be a coach. Because when you're a coach, one thing is for sure is that you have someone coming to you for guidance, as a consultant as well, coming to you for guidance, and they're trusting you. They are trusting you with their business, their lives, to give them information or to guide them towards a solution. And you have a chance to make an impact there. So what we're not going to do is take that for granted, because there is power in the impact you're able to have as a coach or consultant. And I want you to step into that power and realize how much of a difference you can make in the world and in the lives of other people, because nobody else can do what you do. And you have the tools to make that difference. You have the tools and the power to create influence and respond and be responsible for other people's livelihoods and lives. So you have to use that and be respect that, because that's a big deal. If you're able to influence people that well, you have to be able to understand your role. Yes, and Geraldine said all of this is also applicable to just leadership and being a leader in general. And that is so true, because as a coach, you have to be a leader. If you have not stepped into your role as a leader, then that is your opportunity, because that power, like, it doesn't, like, a lot of people hear the word power and they think it's a disgusting word, like, oh my God, like, I don't think I need power. But in that role, you do have power. You're able to influence and impact people. You have to be respecting that. And as a leader in your community and in your craft, an expert in your craft, that is something that is so valuable that people take for granted. I do not want you to take that for granted. So you have to understand your role and power as a coach and consultant. And that's all I'm saying on that, because I want to start this masterclass in a way that you feel empowered as well, because this is not all about what you need to be doing, but what you already are doing. And you're already making an impact and influencing a lot of individuals with what you do already in your career. But you're taking it in the business space on the entrepreneur side and making a bigger difference. All right. Ooh, my computer is tripping. All right, so you're thinking, how do I distinguish myself among all the other online coaches or consultant? Do I need an abundance of success stories to be credible? Now, one thing I'm going to say about that is that oftentimes we are telling ourselves these stories, but it's not always the case. Guys, give me 1 second. I am going to try to change my Canva, because my presentation thing here is not what I want it to be. All right, so give me 1 second and then I'll start presenting again. But if you have any comments, and Geraldine, thank you for participating here. Yes, leadership, because then with John Maxwell, his books on leaderships, that's one of the books that I'm Well, I've read several of his books, but he does talk a lot about leadership. If anybody's interested in reading John C. Maxwell books, but definitely that's a great read if you are interested in improving your leadership skills. All right. All right, so I'm back on this. Let me open that back up. Okay. Now, why is it showing up like that? I don't know, but we're going to run with it. So, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my computer, but that's okay. So, another question, do I need an abundance of success stories to be credible? Because oftentimes, what stumps people and stops them from building their business is the fact that they think they need testimonials and so many success stories to be credible for people to take them seriously. But oftentimes that's just a story that we tell ourselves, and we have to be careful about that, because if that's what's stopping us, then we're going to have a problem. And how do I compete with all the free health or mindset, all the free resources that are available? That's another thing that may cause, some block and cause people to kind of slow down and like be afraid to take action. And I don't want that to be the reason you're afraid of taking action, because that's just one part of the story. Again, that's just one part of the story, and you should not let that stop you and make you afraid of taking action, because there's so many folks out there that don't know what they're doing, that are like confident in what they're doing. So go for it. You're an expert, you have the skills, make that impact. So real success in coaching or consulting, it really comes from having unique strategies and personal connections. If you have a career, you've been in the professional space for a while, you already know that connections, that's almost everything. Because if you have good connections, then you'll be set. It's not just about like your competition or the credentials that you have, but knowing the right people. And in your case, if you're a coach or consultant, building your audience and having a community that really propels you to a space where you're able to call in your dream clients that much easier and that much faster. So I want you to stop thinking about all these things that cause you to pause what you're doing and start thinking, what if? What if you could bring in several clients even as a novice? You just started your business, but so what? What if you could bring in several clients? What if your business could be profitable without all these testimonials? And what if you could stand out and attract your dream clients with the offers that you already have? Ask yourself what if. It's just that key point in kind of switching the narrative and the story that matters here. Now, key pieces to converting your audience into paying clients. I know we talked about that would be one lesson that you're learning today. You have to shift your belief to why not me? We see like different businesses that seem successful, wildly successful, and you ask yourself, why not me? Or why are they doing so well? Why can't I do just as well? But you have to switch and ask yourself, why can't I do it? It's my turn. Like, shift your mindset and your belief to understanding that you are capable of doing just as much or better in your business. Because what's so special about the next person? You have just as many skills. You are an expert in your craft. You're able to do it. So shift that mindset to why not me? And also, the second key piece is to elevate your messaging. When your messaging is clear and people don't have to wonder what you're saying, it's easier to call them in and convert them into paying clients. And the third key piece, which we're going to talk a little bit about today, is expanding your audience by identifying them and connecting with them. And we'll talk more about that. So, yeah, we definitely need to chat about that a little bit more to make sure that we're on the same page here, because then that part is really important. Now, let me go see what Geraldine said. It helps me to remember that there is only 6 degrees of separation between anyone around the world. Yes, we live in a vast, a big world, but we'd be surprised how many degrees of separation, like Geraldine said, exist between everybody. So we have to understand the degrees of separation, and my community allows me to justify my motivation beyond the self-doubt. Y'all, 6 degrees of separation. Have you ever seen on LinkedIn where it says there, like, it tells you how far apart you are from that person? Like, I've seen names and it says that, what's the term that, I forgot the term that LinkedIn uses, but it just goes to show you that this person that you've been thinking about connecting with, they know somebody that you know. So oftentimes that degree of separation is less than we think. So we have to, like, shifting your belief. Why not me? Because they've been able to do it. They had probably the same tools that you had. Some people had less of the skills that you had. So shifting that belief. Connection, yes. The word on LinkedIn is connection. Like, what connection? Secondary, I think. Primary, I forgot what the exact term is, but they have a term for that. Third degree. Yep. I found so many people that I wanted to connect with, or people that were my ideal clients, that did not have so much things that were not in common as me. They knew a lot of people I know. They knew people that worked in the same spaces I worked. So go for it. Now, why you may think that people buy from coaches. I've met people that think it's about testimonials, pretty website, having a huge following, or having affordable or cheap services. But that doesn't really make a difference, to be honest. Because then testimonials. Think about it. If you're able to share a case study, a compelling case study, that case study can be about you or something that you've done in the workplace. Like somebody you've helped in the workplace. Share a case study. That can be your testimonial to build your credibility and expertise while you're looking for clients, to build your portfolio of testimonials. Because listen, if you are a professional, you already have the skills. You've already done the stuff that you're trying to do in your business. So use those examples as case studies, what you've done in the workplace, how you use the skills that you're trying to bring into your business effectively. So build a portfolio with those case studies, so you can showcase them to people and they can see what it is that you do. Now, for the pretty website, I'm not gonna lie, having a website, I have one, and that website has not changed since 2021. Do I care about it? No, possibly not. The reason for that, I can just build a landing page on my Stan store, or I can build a landing page on MailerLite, which I use for my emails. Or I can just build a web page on Canva. Because then when you're trying to build connections and convert people, it's not the website that's going to make them buy your services. And if you have somebody that's coming to your universe and never really paid attention to what you were sharing in your content, or your pieces of information, your content and stuff like that, they might not be for you. Because then if that's what's important to the person, oh, you don't have a website, I'm not going to buy from you. Trust me, you do not want that person as a client. That will be a nightmare client most of the time. Because if that person is not going to buy for you because of a website, peace out. Because then if that's what's going to cause you not to purchase, did you know Tesla doesn't have commercials? Like, they're not crazy on commercials like the other ones, but If you live in California, everybody and their mama has a Tesla. How they know about it? So oftentimes it's not that, well, they have a website, but all I'm saying is like the thing that people think is important for a business is not what should be important for that business owner. Because then that's not what's going to bring you revenue, because you build a website and then look at the traffic. If you have a website already, great. But look at the traffic on the website. How much of your business is actually coming from random visits to the website? Oftentimes, not a lot. Because most of the times when you get someone to purchase your services or get into your coaching programs or hire you for your service, it's people that you've built a relationship with and connected with and shared like either your invoice or portfolio with via email or via the DMs or like LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram. Like you've sent them the PDF information and they've made a purchase because you clearly already communicated your value via your content and that relationship you built. And it was a no-brainer for them to purchase. But website, I don't think the website's going to help you do that. Unless you have a huge audience already, then that's a different thing. But if you're just starting and you're trying to become profitable, I don't think the website is the first thing you should worry about, because it ain't gonna bring money in your pocket. And the next thing, cheaper services. Cheaper does not mean popular. A lot of times I see people thinking if they reduce their services and start charging by the hour, more people are going to come through. But what happens when you start charging by the hour, you attract people with the mindset that they're exchanging money for your time. That's when you find people that are trying to extract as much of your energy, just like your job used to do, because they paid you for the hour. Oh, what did you do for that hour? I thought you wanted time freedom and like freedom in your career. Why would you put yourself in a situation like that? Again, because then cheaper services does not mean better. Because then the other thing, let's say you're offering a coaching program. I had a client when we first started working together. I have a slide on her. When we started working together, her name is Kristen. Her 3-month program was $300 per month. And she was meeting with her clients weekly. She sent them detailed notes. She did research. So the calls, everything, $300 per month. So there's work that happens on the back end. There's work that happens on the coaching call. And when the person reaches out, because she did provide support between the coaching calls and reviewed the details. But that's $300. Wait, where's my calculator? Because then I'm going to help you break this down to show you how cheaper services do not mean they're better. So with that in mind, so $300, oh, my phone, $300 per month, let's say 4 weeks, that's $75 per week, right? So there's already a 60-minute call, sometimes goes over. There's you checking your messages all the time and reaching back, typing the notes, sending all that email. So let's say your time spent on one client per week can be between 1 to 3 hours, depending on how hands-on that client is. So let's say 3 hours. So that means you're charging $25 per hour. As an expert in your field, would you take $25 per hour at a job? I know I'm not. So why am I going to open this business and I'm going to tell people it's $25 per hour? I'm not working per hour anymore. Like, I'm sorry. I think that just like made me scratch. Let me see. Freedom is in the control to who, how, why that will vary on what you're doing, Geraldine, because Geraldine shared that she disagreed, that she thinks the freedom lays in the control on the who, how, why, when. Because then when I think of time freedom, if I'm limiting myself to how much time I am spending on a task rather than how much, because as a coach and consultant, think about that. I am not the person who is doing most of the work. I am here to guide you and keep you accountable. In your case, you're providing a done for you service and hands-on service. That's hourly tasks. That is different. But coaches and consultants, that is a different realm, because then you have to think about, like, at this point, this person might tell you, did you rest? Did you take a 10-minute break within my 1 hour? Because then in the entrepreneurship world, when people start paying per hour, they expect more. And that puts more stress on you. Because then at this point, that's why it's important to start building an image of who it is that you want to work with. Because I don't believe in working with people that don't understand the value I have to provide and the amount. Because then you're spending, let's say my one-on-one coaching program, $4,500 for 4 months, and you're making for the year $100K. You've paid that off. But am I going to say I'm charging you a percentage of what you're making in the year? No. But I understand the value I'm providing, so I'm charging accordingly. And understanding your value as a coach and consultant, what you can help people accomplish, is very important, because you understand your role and your power in this industry and what you're capable of helping people accomplish. Because this abundance mindset and lack mindset is something I'm very clear on. I do not want to work with people who think there's not enough in the world, because that's not me. Because if you look around, there's so many things that are happening in this world. People are still thriving. I am not going for 1 second believe that I am not able to set my standards in my business, and you're not able to set your standards in your business and attract people that are going to respect that. Because nobody, let's be honest, when these car dealerships set the price for their cars, they're not saying, oh, this person is working 3 jobs, they can't afford it. They set their price and people meet them where they are. And that's what you are now. You're a business owner. Set your price for people to meet you where you are. If people are not meeting you where you are, they're not your ideal clients. We're not chasing people. And that's what an empowered woman does. We're not chasing people. We understand our value, our role, our impact in this business world, and we show up accordingly. And let's see. Why people actually buy coaching services. That was the next slide. So this goes to illustrate that sometimes these are different things I've heard in market research. There are too many online coaches. It's a saturated market. I need testimonials before I charge for a client. I need a website, logo, or branded everything. Or other coaching services are cheaper. But why people actually buy services is that your offer is actually valuable and unique to the buyer and will help them solve a problem that is oftentimes very it's worth it to them. And your ideal clients actually feel like you understand them and their needs. Coaches that focus on relationship building actually get further faster, and people will pay for offers that help them solve a problem. Now, I'm going to go and break down examples. I've worked with coaches that charge $12,000 per year. I've worked with others that charge $7,000 for 4 months. Now, there are other coaches I know that charge $30,000 for a year. Do they have a lot of clients paying for their services? No, they do not, because people will pay for offers that will help them solve a problem. Now, they find a way, or they manifest a way for them to pay for what they want. And I'm not sure if any of you have read I don't know what I did with that book, but it's by Jen Sincero. I think it's called You're a Badass at Making Money. So one of the stories she shared is how she was seeking coaching services. And I believe the person quoted her, I don't know, I don't remember if it was 25 or 40K. And at first, she did not know where to find it, but she just trusted that it would come, and come to find out, it did come in a way that was unexpected to her because she knew she wanted that program. She ended up exceeding, making that money back um, twofold or more. I don't remember the exact value, but she found it literally like she was able to sell stocks that she forgot she owned when she was somewhere. Somebody gifted it to her. So sometimes, like, if you want something, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, it will come to you. But you have to believe in your ability to call things in, because when you are so focused on things that you cannot have or the lack, that's when you're going to experience that. Because then that, an example, in my 20s, one of my things I always said, I was broke, I was broke, I was broke. You best believe I stayed broke. Even though I wasn't at one point, but I actually reached a point where I was in need. Because when I wasn't, I was speaking that into existence. It became my reality. So oftentimes you have to realize what is your reality and what isn't, what stories you're telling yourself and what isn't a story. So your offer has to be valuable and unique to the buyer. Your ideal clients need to actually feel like you understand them and their needs. So in lieu of the testimonials, build case studies, share stories, and make sure they understand or they know that you understand them. And start building relationships, because if you're struggling to get new clients, it's likely because you're trying to get the same people from 2020 that have been on your list. You're still trying to market to them. Still, you haven't cleaned out your list. You haven't added new people, because if there are no new people, there will be no sales. Because your goal is to start building a network and start building relationships so new eyes can see what you have to offer. Because really, like, as a coach or consultant, your industry, you have to understand what your industry is. If you're serving clients, so if it's a B2C model, a business to client model, then you need to build your audience. If it's a business to business model, you need to understand what businesses you serve and get into in front of those businesses consistently and expand your audience. Because if you're not expanding your audience, then it's going to be hard for you to actually get clients. And the other thing, like, once you expand your audience, you'll see that you can actually start converting your audience into paying clients. And one way to do that is by showing up in your content and talking about your offers, and also solutions to a problem that you divulge in a story. Because as women, it's easier for us to share stories that people can relate with, they understand. Because one thing I've learned, and that I've been learning from this wonderful coach of mine, is that we are great at storytelling. We are great at telling people things in a way that resonates with them. So we have to use our strengths. And storytelling is one way that we can do that in our content, but also realizing our content is not just for stories and educating. We have to be able to convert those ideal clients, but making sure that we are presenting ourselves as experts and authorities in our industry, because we have the skills. So these individuals can eventually convert into paying clients. Because then once we start having conversations with them and they start understanding our expertise or where we stand, they'll start coming to us and ask us questions, and we can figure out as we go what they need, so we can make specific offers to them. So get in front of new people, because the same old audience you have is not working. Now, if you're still thinking that you can follow exactly what this successful coach did, because you can do it too. Let's say you went on Google, Googled like which coach is having success. This coach probably succeeded or got to where she is in 2020. This is not the same market. We're in a time where people are afraid of losing money, and they need to understand that you know what they need, and they're afraid of spending their coins. So you're going to have to go a different approach. You have to start connecting with them and understanding and getting to know them first. Build those relationships. And if you're thinking you can keep doing what you've been doing and focus on your content, which will do the work for you, 2 years later, that's another sign that something's not working. Because then the same thing and you're doing it over and over again and it's still not showing a difference, that's an issue. You might need help, and you need to get out of yourself and actually ask somebody for help instead of staying in the same place. And the other thing, if you think you can just work with anyone and everyone that needs online coaching or consulting, that's another thing, because then we cannot just work with everyone. We have to know who we want to work with, because not everybody is our ideal client. And as a business owner, you're going to have to put your foot down and determine what that is. You have to determine who your ideal client is, because if you don't, then you're going to end up growing over the years, becoming resentful. Again, you have to think about what industry you're in and call in the people you want to work with. Make that decision. Unless you have a broad audience and you just cater to everybody, you have like a grocery store or whatever, this is not the space for you. But like, you have to think about your industry as a coach or consultant. You have to think about who it is that your ideal client is and serve them well. Now, if you meet Kristen, before we started working together, Kristen was struggling to sell her health coaching program, and she really did not know how to generate leads. She felt like she was doing everything she could, but after our first week implementing my simple conversation to sell strategy, because I've been doing this conversation to sales for a long time. Conversation to sell strategy, she was able to book 3 calls. And that was not the norm for her, because she struggled to call in her ideal clients or even get anybody to inquire about her services, because, hi, sweetheart. Okay. Because it just didn't happen. So this is just showing how with the Dubsado, because if you have a CRM, a customer relationship management system, there's Dubsado, there's Honeybook, there is Practice Better, there are different ones as well. But this is just a screenshot showing just calls booked. And sometimes it's what we're looking for, because then if it's calls booked, great. If it's applications filled out, that's another thing, because then you have to know what data or what indicators or that you're tracking. All right, give me one. All right, so if you're a woman getting coaching clients in this market, there's an old way of getting clients and there's a new way of getting clients. So before, people used to go through Facebook groups and ask folks if they wanted what they had to offer and essentially wait, and there were no bites. Because, like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Facebook group. Hey, I have this guy that got me XYZ. Anybody interested? Everybody would say, yes, I want it. And then you would DM it, nothing happened. Or people would say, yes, they're interested and never reach out. So that's why I'm saying say bye to say sayonara. Posting content and hoping someone DMs you because you're here telling everybody, hey, DM me. Say goodbye to that as well. Or waiting to hear from interested parties because you're making no sales while you're making no sales, which is definitely not a situation you want to be in. So these are all old ways, and think about this new way. You're able to build and expand your audience through authentic means where there's no pitching necessary, because if you don't know somebody, please don't pitch to them on the first DM. Don't do that, because that's the first way that you're going to get somebody to just block you or not want to talk to you anymore. Do not do that. Also, having a clear content strategy. And a goal, with the goal to convert your audience. because your content should have a purpose. Because then, are you trying to build relationships with them, increase engagement? Are you trying to use a certain piece of content to convert them into a paying client? Because then your content should be able to call out your ideal clients and call out what they're doing wrong or what they need to be doing and call them to your space. So your content should have a strategy where you're able to provide a call to action that will lead them where you need to go. And also acknowledging that you are the expert and your clients are self-led and you control yourself only. So the only thing that you focus on, expanding your audience, building connections, and converting those people to paying clients. That's the only thing you can control, and that's the only thing you should control, because everything else is none of your business. Whether this person says yes or no, that is none of your business. If it's a no, keep it moving. If it's a yes, provide follow-up and keep it moving and just continue, because running a business is repetitive. One term I've heard, it's boring, and it's true, because it's going to be the same thing over and over again. But if it's not for you, then maybe you're in the wrong space. Okay, so really think about the things that you need to do to move forward and the new way of getting clients. Now, with the new way, you can actually start seeing results and meaningful changes in just 3 weeks, because 3 weeks of communication, reaching out to people, those activities, and you're being clear on it, that will make a huge difference. And you can't build and scale your thriving coaching practice using the old way, because that just leads to burnout and people blocking you or not wanting to reach back out to you. And that kind of like deflates the ego. Now, benefits of the connect, convert strategy. You can say no to limited interaction with clients and increase your client engagement if you say yes to connecting and converting. And these are all things that you can say no to and yes to. I'm not going to go over all of them. These are there for you to check out, because one of the important things is there are benefits to the connect and convert strategy. Because if if you are taking intentional action like connecting with people and learning how to convert them effectively, it will take you move you forward faster. Now, I'm not the only one that's gotten results. So one of my clients, another one of my clients was able to schedule 2 calls after we started working together by implementing the same strategy. Because one thing is, people are uncomfortable reaching out to people they don't know and having conversations and finding out what they like. So just the right strategy and the right approach, it really can make a difference. Now, what to expect with this strategy is direction and clarity in your practice, consistent engagement and growth from your clients, and converting your audience into paying clients, because nobody wants to only have beta clients that are not paying or really just giving you $25 here or there. You actually want to convert audience into paying clients. Now, I'm going to stop here, and if you want to leave right now, you can do that. Or if you want to take a break, because the next I'm going to start talking about ways you can work with me in my one-on-one coaching program. So I'm inviting you, if you want to pause here to ask questions, I'll give you the opportunity to do that before I start talking about my one-on-one coaching container. Let me stop presenting. And then let's see if I can pause the recording. No, I cannot pause the recording. Geraldine, okay, so Geraldine says I can continue. Let me go back. All right, so I'm inviting you to book, to book a breakthrough call with me. My one-on-one coaching container is called the Beautiful Gains Coaching Program. Now, one thing I'm going to say here is the choice essentially is always yours, because then you can try to figure it out on your own and go back and forth with the same, in the same cycle, the feast and famine cycle, get a client and then dry, get a client and then dry. or learn from someone who's done it and has a proven system to help you get to the next point. Now, this invitation, the program is called Beautiful Gains Coaching Program. It's now open. It's a 4-month program created for women with an online coaching practice, and they're ready to develop and implement systems that will take them to 4 to 5 figures consistently. Now, the timeline of this program, there are 3 phases. I added a 4th. I didn't update this. But phase 1, I called it the nitty-gritty just because that's what it sounded like. That sounded good to me at the time. But essentially in the nitty-gritty, it's just the basics. Because then you have to determine your onboarding and goals. We have to figure out what your mindset should be like as a CEO. Your messaging needs to be crystal clear, crafting your signature offer. Like, we need to be clear on that. And then from there, we can determine the smaller offers. And then also setting up your onboarding and offboarding for your clients. And then phase 2 is where we get to work. We start working on getting your first 1 to 3 signature, high ticket clients, because then the other clients you may get maybe for their smaller offers. But we're going to focus on getting your first 1 to 3 clients and then also trickle in the other offers and working on content that actually converts to getting clients. Excuse me. Lead generation and engagement, all things that happen in phase 2, and also DM conversations. We're going to work on nailing those conversations and sales calls. In phase 3 is basically, I called it, let's do it. It's promoting your signature offer consistently. How to do that? By setting up a funnel to promote it. So you build out your funnel, set it up so you can promote your signature offer continuously. And scaling, it says health coaching here, but it's online coaching, your online coaching business, scaling your online coaching business and making sure you're ready to do that. And next steps. What's included in my one-on-one coaching offer is the framework. We're going to work on it so you can understand the framework. It's just 3 steps. Connect, identify the people, connect with them, expand your audience, convert, repeat continuously. Weekly recorded one-on-one coaching calls, unlimited Slack support. If you've never used Slack, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool app. But then we can discuss other features as well. There's a clients-only portal with step-by-step weekly trainings. There's weekly assignment review and feedback. And how that works is that if you're working on an assignment you would like feedback on, you can complete your assignment and just submit a form for me to review your assignment, and you'll receive feedback within 48 working hours. Now, client success roadmap. Everybody receives a roadmap to keep track of progress and success. So you'll be able to track different milestones, and we can celebrate the different milestones within the program. So with that said, these are all the bells and whistles inside the Beautiful Gains Coaching Program. And I'm inviting you to apply today, so you can visit my STAM store to apply for the Beautiful Gains Coaching Program, where I will teach you to build a business where you're connecting and converting clients consistently. The website is right here. And why I want to help. I love helping professionals like you, like me, build their dream coaching business and consulting business by using my irresistible trust flow framework. So if you're ready for some personalized support, my son, give me 1 second, guys. Okay. All right. So he ran out. So if you're ready for some personalized support to create coaching offers that are effortlessly attracting and converting your dream clients into your space, apply today. 1 second, y'all, because this kid forgot who I am for a second. But okay. All right. So yeah, working together long-term inside the Beautiful Gains Coaching Program. It's not a one-size-fits-all program. You have to be self-led. You have to understand what is required of you as an entrepreneur. And it's about crafting a personalized strategic approach. So space is limited. Apply today. I'm inviting you to work with me. I'm looking forward to it. So with that said, I'm going to stop sharing and stop recording. So wait 1 second.